So will Jack Charlton's choice be the overall winner, or will it come from the global conflict category? Top of that was a moment that scarred America and appalled the world. It was the moment the second plane hit the South Tower of the World Trade Center in New York. With their memories now, the city's fire commissioner Tom von Essen and two survivors from that tower.
As New Yorkers started working on the morning of September 11, 2001, two hijacked airliners crashed into the north and south towers of the Trade Center. This is what remains. This is the most lethal act ever committed on American soil. 2,749 people died here that day. It was a day of horror and confusion. It was also a day when ordinary people did extraordinary things. Their stories ensure that we will never forget. In the face of terrorism, humanity prevailed.
My normal commute gets me to the World Trade Center at about 7:15 in the morning. It was a beautiful blue sky day, abnormally warm during the fall of 2001. Found myself in my office at 8:30 where I was opening emails, working on some spreadsheets and so on, when at 8:46, boom. Spun around in my chair, and just 2 yards behind me at my window, 84 floors in the air, outside the glass was swirling flame.
On September 11, 2001, I worked at the World Trade Center, second tower, the South Tower. I worked on the 81st floor. When the first building got hit, my mother is on the phone. She's asking me how I was doing. Still standing up with the phone in my hand, I just happened to look towards the Statue of Liberty. And what I saw was this giant aircraft, gray in color, with the letter U on its tail, and this plane is bearing down on me. And I dropped the phone and I screamed. Oh my God! You can hear the air pressure sucking all the papers and everything out. The plane wing just sliced right to my office. And the plane is stuck 20 feet away from where I was in the office door. I'm gonna die, one way or the other.
Until the second plane hit, we really had no idea that it was terrorism. Once that happened, we knew that we had an emergency that was way out of control. But the firefighters kept coming, hundreds, moving and running up the stairs, trying to save lives.
We only went down 3 floors to the 81st floor when we met a woman coming up the stairs, and she was pleading with us, don't go down, don't go, stop, you can't go down. I saw my friends turning around, going up the stairs. In the vague distance, I heard this voice screaming, but it was a faint voice. Help, help, I'm buried. Is anybody there? I can't breathe.
I'm crying like a baby. Lord, I don't want to die. Send somebody, anybody. And somebody heard that scream, and this man put his hand around my shoulder and says, come on, buddy, let's go home.
Stanley and I started down from the 81st floor. There was a lot of debris in on the stairs. The walls were cracked, and there was flames sort of licking up the other side of the wall.
And the only people we saw were the firefighters and the cops, and they were belching out orders, run, run, run.
I got Stanley out of the rubble, but it was his voice that pulled me off the stairway. I don't know if he hadn't been there, whether I would have gone up or gone down.
There's not a doubt in my mind. Had it not been for this one good man, I would not have been here.
Ordinary people, civilians, police officers, firefighters, rescue workers, performed extraordinary feats of heroism that day. And around the world, regardless of nationality, people stood with us as New Yorkers united against terrorism.
Remembering 9/11. In the human tragedy category, your top choice was the Boxing Day tsunami. Making its case is John Irvine, Asia correspondent for ITV News, who was himself caught up in its dramatic events.
When the tsunami struck on Boxing Day morning, I was on a family holiday on a little Thai island called Koh Yao Noi, not far from Phuket. It was about 10 o'clock in the morning. Myself and our 5-year-old son Peter had gone for a walk along the beach. I was faced with this wall of water. It was 100 yards out and it was steaming in really quickly. I can remember it hitting me on my back, and I was thinking, right, I must try and stay on my feet, and I couldn't. And I thought, just hold on to the buoy and go with it. And luckily it carried us down a slope into a rice paddy. We'd lost everything, you know, we're just standing there in our swimming togs. Everything in the bungalow had been washed away. And you began to ponder just how fortunate you'd been. We were lucky enough to escape with just cuts and bruises, but across the Indian Ocean, hundreds of thousands of other people were not so fortunate. Nowhere was hit harder than Banda Aceh, where the wave reached an astonishing height, between 80 and 100 feet. You speak to any journalist who was there, from whatever country, whatever age, and nobody has seen anything like Banda Aceh. Death was everywhere. It was killing people 3 miles inland. How strong does it have to have been to do that? People everywhere were shocked by the pictures of destruction, and donations broke all records. Perhaps the worst of Mother Nature brought out the best in mankind.
My colleague John Irvine, remembering the ravages of the tsunami and the humanity that followed it. You can still vote to decide the order of the top 5, and there are 2